Are we okay? Do you follow me then? All right. This superior cervical ganglion, we're going to see a lot coming from there. We are going to innervate the nasal mucosa, the lacrimal gland, and the eye. A lot happening. We are going to innervate the skin, erector pili muscles, and sweat glands. Once again, erector pili muscles, muscle tissue. Sweat glands, glandular tissue. That's all straightforward. And we are going to innervate the salivary glands. It's only showing you the parotid there, but it's all of them. Then, once again, this superior cervical ganglion is going to contribute to the cardiopulmonary plexus that is going to be involved with the heart and lungs. That superior is a monster. The inferior and the middle cervical ganglia are going to contribute to the cardiopulmonary plexus. Well, that's pretty straightforward. You're not going to divide it up any more than that. Then coming up from the first three thoracic ganglia in the sympathetic chain, it's also contributing to the cardiopulmonary plexus. But notice the synapses for all of these are in the chain. Cool?
So there are three ganglia in there: super, middle, and inferior.
Super, middle, and inferior cervical ganglion. And then these are the equivalent of T1, T2, T3. These are sitting right next to the nerve roots. We're gonna look at another view in a little bit of hope. Okay? So I could ask you the heart and lungs. They're innervated by nerves from the cardiac or the cardiopulmonary plexus. What contributes to the cardiopulmonary plexus? Well, nerve roots from everything in here. Superior, the middle, and the inferior. Cervical, T1, 2, and 3. Bang. We okay? This blows it up enough for you that you should be able to see that without any problem. What I might suggest you do is, just draw, or at least draw in a line here, separating the cervical from the thoracic. I think it'll just help clarify that for you. All right, let's keep going. Now, we're at roughly T4 here. Coming on down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, no. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think I have one cut right in half here, because this is L1 and L2 right here. Okay, so you could count from the bottom up. We have a number of ganglia within here. We have 3 mesenteric ganglion, the superior, the middle, and the inferior. And we have the celiac ganglion. Celiac refers to your digestive system once again. But specifically, it's referring to the liver region. So, we have the synapse within here, liver and gallbladder. We have the synapse within here, stomach. We have the synapse within here, spleen. Spleen. What does spleen do for you? It destroys old blood cells. It filters your blood. You know, basically, during a sympathetic event, you are going to get your spleen working in kind of high, I don't want to say metabolism, but it's going to ramp up its activity so that if you are damaging cells, which you do during a sympathetic event, the minute your breathing rate starts going up more, you have a potential to damage cells oxidatively, red cells, oxidatively. There's all sorts of stuff that can go on. All right, and then we have the unusual one that passes right through the celiac ganglion and innervates the adrenal medulla. We have the innervation of the kidney. Kidney? Oh no. Why should I innervate the kidney? Sympathetic event. Do you want to urinate during a sympathetic event? No. Therefore, what must go on in the kidney? You don't want to shut it down, but you want to slow down the gross filtration rate. You want filtration in the kidney to slow down. You're going to do that by controlling the blood flow in the glomerulus of the kidney and all around the nephron. We then have a branch that is going to synapse. Okay, it doesn't synapse in the celiac ganglion, but you notice it comes off to the superior mesenteric ganglion, synapse, come down to the colon and the small intestine. Once again, pretty much we're talking ascending, transverse, and upper part of the descending colon. And then we're talking, trying to separate the two of these out here is difficult, don't do it. So we're talking the small intestine. Small intestine has signal coming from the superior and the middle mesenteric ganglion. We're okay? I know this seems complicated, which is why we're going through it a second time. I don't know if you remember, but I said we're going to go into this in greater detail. Here it is. All right. Now, L1, L2 coming off, come together, form a common splanchnic nerve. It is going to synapse in the inferior mesenteric ganglion, come down the sigmoid colon and the rectum. This is going to lead to, actually, throughout all of this, you are shutting down the digestive system. These lower synapses are coming from up here, so signals are coming in up here, coming down, synapsing in these lower sympathetic chain ganglia. You could go through and line them up with everything, but we'll just call these lower ones. They're going to come out, form this sacral splanchnic nerve. Oh, did we have a sacral splanchnic nerve already? We did. We saw that with the parasympathetic. This is going to innervate the bladder and the genitals. In general, this is going to lead to preventing urination, so that you are not going to squeeze the bladder, and the sphincter leading to the urethra is going to remain closed. This is going to lead to pretty much orgasms. So, all right. So we've looked at this before. I want to look specifically here. Because I want you to look at this slightly differently than you have previously. So, here we have the nerve root. This is the spinal nerve. Okay? So this is the spinal nerve coming out for whatever root that is. So let's say it's T4. All right? What you'll see is as this comes out, the signals come through this sympathetic ganglion and the sympathetic chain that would be equivalent to T4. Does this make sense to you? Or have I lost you with that? What? So if this is T4, just a complete random example, all right? This is the T4 spinal root. Here we have the ramus coming out. What color is this ramus? White, all right? We're going to have synapse, or it's going to pass through here. This sympathetic ganglion is at the same level as this, so it is the equivalent of the T4 spinal root. Does that make sense? Okay? Once again, these are wonderful for visualizing how the signals come out. Okay, so this is sympathetic, comes on out. It either passes through, where it will now synapse with a ganglion. This could be any of those ganglia that we talked about, or it's going to synapse in the sympathetic chain. What it's not showing you here is that on occasion, these axons come out and go up, or axons come out and go down. There's a lot happening. All right. I gave you a bunch of tables that just summarize a whole bunch of stuff with the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems. Please take the time to go through. You know, this should make sense to you. You have to ask yourself, okay, if he says you can't make tears, why does it make sense that that is sympathetic?
Right away.
Well, you don't blur your vision, obviously, and then you say, oh, well, that's got to be a signal coming from, one of those cervical sympathetic chain ganglia, right? So maybe what you want to do is take something like this and go through and mark, oh, this signal, where's it coming from? This signal, where's it coming from? This signal, where's it coming from? So you can correlate the two sets of the table and the chart there, the figure that shows you where the signals are coming from. A lot of stuff. All right? We are going to wrap up the autonomic nervous system on Wednesday, but I'm done talking today.
So it's audit ganglion is for digestive system. It's right here in the ear.
Yep. It's otic because of its where it occurs.
Close to in the ear.
Okay. It's if we were, and I think in the chapter on cranial nerves, it shows you the otic ganglion, and it's just where it is. You know, if we saw you in half, you could see it easily. So, Bradley, right? Okay. Brandon.
Thank you.
Yes, Ellie.